Hi, Cherry. Welcome to this first sort of Zoom chat that we're doing for the Christian Inquiry Agency over lockdown. We've been knocking about some ideas, and we decided we'd chat today a little bit about what we've seen with churches doing online church, because it's been happening now. It's something I think the 10th week for most churches this week.
Gosh, is it 10 weeks already? Wow.
Yeah, so yes. I think with 10 weeks worth, we're starting to see some best practice stuff. So I just wonder what you've seen, and you can tell me about your church and also other churches you've seen around and what they're doing in terms of church.
Yes.
Now.
I mean, it's been vastly different, hasn't it? Everybody's kind of panicked and done their own thing. So I've seen, well, I won't name names, but there some churches have been doing it sort of by Zoom, and I think they've been finding it harder on the whole because it's harder to manage everybody. What we've been doing, which seems to have worked quite well so far, is pre-recording it the day before or the days before, bringing the content together and then putting it on YouTube. So that seems to, then you can get it nice and slick, as it were. What about you, Dan?
At Methodist Central Hall, Westminster, I should say, because there are other Methodist Central Halls, and I get in trouble by not saying that. But what we did, we early doors, we initially the first Sunday, sort of under sort of semi-lockdown, which was just before the Prime Minister said we had to close everything. The Methodist Church and the Church of England decided to close all premises. We had a live stream from our chapel, which worked really, really well, and it's something that I've been in post there now for 5 years, and I've been advocating streaming services for a long time.
Yeah,
we did quite a bit then via Facebook. That's what we used as our platform then. But I was very keen that Facebook is a closed environment. If people aren't on Facebook, then they can't see what we're doing. So I advocated moving to YouTube quite quickly because then everyone can access it. So we then moved. We were very fortunate that White Light, who are our in-house AV people, they have something called Smart Stage, which enables us to do a live service using Zoom. So the readers, the preacher, the people leading the prayers are all zoomed in on a screen. And our worship leader is sort of sat at a platform and leads the service that way.
Yes.
It's done really well. The numbers have been incredible. We normally only get about 2,000 people watching it live. And after a week, we're topping out at 5,000 to 10,000 per service, which is
amazing, isn't it? How many more people are tuning in online? And have you any idea of who these people are?
Exactly. Well, we know a certain number, obviously, are church family members, but our usual attendance is about 400 on a Sunday morning. So, we're doing some big numbers there.
Yeah.
One of the big things is we don't know who else is coming in. We have the live chat function over on the left-hand side.
Yes.
We've no idea, are those people dipping in? Are the Christians already looking for a church? We know there's a lot of Methodists are using us as their local chapel for
the big go-to church. Yes, yeah.
But we've got no way of interacting with people as they would come through the door and say welcome. And that way, I mean, how have your church been dealing with it in terms of sort of? Is it just basically a closed shop, the Zoom, or can people come in, or is it via?
Well, we've got a bit of both. So we're having the online service, and we're trying to bring in as many of this church family as possible. So it's quite varied. We're trying to get in old people and young people and people a bit more on the fringes, and so it's not just the sort of the cool people that stand at the front. It's a mixture of people involved in the services. So I've liked how that's been happening, and in fact we've been having little interviews with church family members who are just telling us a little snapshot of their lives. It's like, yes, it's such and such, and you can see them. And then after the service, so obviously it's the pre-record, you can't interact in the same way, although some house groups use the sort of chat by the side to talk to each other during it. Goodness knows, you don't want to be too critical during the service. And then afterwards, we have a church family Zoom call, which you have to obviously log in separately for. And the administrator puts us all into spaces, so breakout spaces, and which is randomized. And there's about 6 people or 6 lots of people on a screen, and you just get to chat to whoever you're put with, which I love because in this time I think we're sort of exclusively talking to people who we know or already, and it's hard to get to know new people. And then in that way people don't feel left out in the same way. Anybody could be in the room with you, and you can get to have it's 15 minutes, that's all you get, but it's really nice just to randomly chat to people, like you might do on a Sunday after.
Yeah, sounds great. And I guess in a way, also being broken out into groups that you've not got control over who you're with is actually even better than the Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. If you choose people otherwise,
you naturally gravitate towards the people you know. I mean, unless you're on maybe the welcome team, and maybe that's something that churches could look at, is to actually having their welcome team sort of interacting, with people who aren't coming in. One of the things that we've noticed is that no matter what happens when we return to the new normal, as it were, there are going to be significant amounts of people within our congregation who are going to be told to remain shielding, or are going to have to stay at home. Particularly now we have in London that they've introduced the congestion charge now on a Sunday. Yes. And so these people will not be able to get public transport anyway into London, and they're now going to have to pay £15 extra to be able to bring in that car. Are they then, and the other health risks all associated with that? Are they going to want to come into church and travel for that kind of thing? We're going to have to offer some kind of live stream service for whatever we go back into.
Yes.
But it still leaves us with that thing, which is one of the things we wanted to talk about today, in that there's no pickup for those people online who are dipping in and might have questions about faith and those kind of aspects. And I know that the Christianityorg UK website, you manage that side of it. I just wondered what you've noticed during lockdown in terms of what people are looking at on the site, and kind of, I know there's a live chat function there which you help manage. I mean, what sort of things have happened within this?
Yes, I mean, we've got articles about, obviously, the virus, specifically, in a Christian response to that, and lots of people have been interested in that. We've also got people looking at articles on suffering, and there's more interest in prayer, and in fact, we're developing a specific page, a space on the website for prayer. At the moment, there is still information about it, and you can request prayer. So we've had quite a lot of requests from people for prayer, and just people contacting me. Some people have lost their jobs, and just all sorts of related situations where we've been able to help. Really, it's obviously not finding a job, but it's providing spiritual support for those people.
I mean, have things? Have you seen what have your church done in terms of those kind of things? I noticed there's a couple of churches who are advertising like an alpha course or something. Goodness knows how they're going to pull that off online, and good luck to them in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, that's the one thing that I've noticed, is that there's we're almost, and understandably, like the rest of life, we're trying to just get to the end of the day and deliver something.
Yeah, absolutely.
We haven't got this long-term strategic point of what are we trying to do, which maybe churches would have had in the past. And I guess if people have got questions, we need them. We would like churches to know about the Christianity.org.uk website. Almost is ready-made there for them to use.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, and a lot of people who won't come to a church leader or a Christian friend for so many reasons. They might be embarrassed to talk about faith. They might be worried that, if you come to speak to somebody that you're friends with and say, I'm interested in Christianity, they might be too excited. They might be like, oh, yes, I want to tell you everything. And, this is just like first little footsteps. You just want to find out a little bit more. People don't always go and chat to the vicar or something. It's very intimidating. So, people love to come online and chat, and they can literally talk to us about anything, from the big apologetics questions to tiny sort of anything. And I love that. We talk to them about everything. We'll engage with them. We'll give them resources, anything they need, really. And also we've been finding that people are looking for churches, and of course, normally I will help them find a church that they can go to. Now I'm helping them find a church that is online. So we are being a bit more exclusive, because I don't want to point them to one where they can't go to it for 6 months or however long. But it's having this online resource just really helps them to, they can have a little look around before they commit to any churches, in a way. And just see what's available.
And I know churches feel stretched and under-resourced at the moment. So there are tools out there, which is what we're trying to sort of say through this video, that people can go and access those tools that are staffed, and in a way, to be frank, for churches, it doesn't cost them anything.
Well, exactly, yes.
URL there is a way of, it's a resource that they can use. It's online, where people are now looking so much of life, almost all of life, interact with other people is now online.
Yeah, we're a service. We're a free charity. We are there. We exist to help churches not just to help churches, to help anybody who wants to find out more about Christianity, and we can help churches to do that. So of course on the website we've got lots of articles about all things to do with the Christian faith, and because we are a broad organisation, we don't have one particular opinion. We will express the differences in Christian opinions, so churches needn't worry and think, oh gosh, they're going to advocate this or not advocate that. We are saying what other Christians believe, so that there's no opinions in it, and so they can feel safe. We have board members from Church of England, Methodist, all sorts of denominations, and that's what we intend to try and cover. I think sometimes churches are worried about putting our URL on their site because they think, oh, that's sending people away from our website. But we're not there. We're not a church. We're not there to try and grab people away from churches. We will give them information about Christianity, but always try and encourage them to join their local church, not any specific church. If, say, they have friends that go to a church or family, or there's one near them, we'll encourage them to go to that one. So the churches needn't be worried that we're taking anything away from them. We'll always try and point people back to them.
Yeah, that's great. And one of the things that we've done at Methodist Central Hall, we have put the last couple of streams, we have put the Christianity.org website URL into our description, just in case people are watching it back and going through it, and just saying, if you've got questions or you want to know more about the Christian faith, boom, there you go. And I know that there's been a little bit of a click through for people doing that.
Right.
And it's just a way of just opening up another resource for people just to go over it and click on it. So that's fantastic. Cherry, good. I'm going to let you get on with the rest of your day. It's been really good to chat to you. We'll hope we'll do another one with some more members of the team and some more churches. And if there are other churches that want to ask us questions or want to get involved in these Zoom calls, we definitely would love to hear from you. Please just make a comment in the box below, or contact us via the Christianity.org.uk website, and we'll make sure we do some more. And let us know what topics you'd like us to discuss in the next Zoom call. We're interested in kind of how churches are coping in this very, very new environment, and trying to work out how we go back. I mean, you know, one of the questions I've been having, and we've been talking about even now in May, is, are we going to have our carol services? You know, this is kind of one of the things we're thinking about already. Question. How are we going to deliver Christmas online? And that's going to be a very different thing. Thanks, Cherry.
My pleasure. Yeah, thanks, Dan.